What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another ReZero video. Hope you all are doing well today or tonight, wherever you are. So today we will be reading a little over 10 pages. I'd say. And then the next part after this, well, I'm gonna read as much as it takes. So next part after this, we should be done with the book. Then we'll go from there, see what happens. So yeah, in the last part, it was basically just a big talk with Roswell. Just Subaru talking with Roswell. He really needed to question him on why he had no countermeasures against the witch cult. And I think if I remember correctly, he said the reason why he didn't have any countermeasures was because he guided events so that he would not have to intervene, which is pretty like, what? He guided events. What does that even mean? He set up a bunch of stuff. Does he have some sort of power, or I don't know. Roswell was one. He's out there. We don't know much about Roswell, but we don't know his intentions. But we also learned he doesn't trust Amelia. He does not trust Amelia, the person he's backing for the throne, which really surprised me. Because obviously, why would he not trust her? I mean, by now he probably trusts Subaru more than Amelia. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's something Roswell knows about Amelia that we as the viewers do not, or the readers, we do not. I couldn't begin to guess on why he wouldn't trust Amelia. There must be something. I don't know if it's just like I know I said in the last video, maybe it's because she's half elf. Would it be something as simple as that? But who knows? Who knows? I'm sure we'll find out. As always, I'm sure there'll be answers. There better be answers. But yeah. Also, Subaru got appointed as knight of Amelia for Amelia. So that was also a really cool moment. But obviously, I don't know if that really means much, because at the end of the read, it said Roswell was kind of setting up the conversation in his favor, buttering up Subaru to make it go in Roswell's more in Roswell's more of his way, I guess. But yeah, we also saw Subaru kind of control himself, which I really like to see, because he's from his past in the capital, not being able to control himself, his temper really set him back a lot. So seeing him take breaths and just get in control was really good to see, and I'm glad he's improved in that aspect. But yeah, that's pretty much the big few things that happened in the last part. So yeah, we'll be reading a little over 10 pages here, and yeah, we're almost done. You know what's crazy? We've almost gotten this whole book, and Subaru has not died yet. Subaru's been maybe he won't die. Maybe he'll catch a break in this book. I don't know. Unless some crazy twist at the end of the book will have his death somewhere, but maybe he'll catch a break. Maybe he won't die. Maybe he won't die in this book. But without further ado, let us go into the next part. This part of the story. So this must be right after he slammed the door on Roswell. He left that room, and let's see, Subaru? Now, is this Amelia, possibly? Subaru scratched his head at the fact that he'd been addressed by name despite entering the room with great care. When he quietly closed the door and turned around, the girl on the bed, Amelia, seemed to have just awakened from a deep sleep as our eyes met. Okay, so yeah. Of course it's Amelia. Sorry, did I wake you? No, I woke up a little earlier. I was surprised you were so quiet, Subaru. Keeping the noise down when I walk has become a habit, but my scheme has been foiled. I was actually thinking I'd play a prank on Amelia while she slept. A prank? You mean like writing on my face? You got me. I definitely don't have the courage to try a worse prank either. The way Amelia tilted her head, the thought of other things between boy and girl not even crossing her mind, took the wind out of Subaru's sails. Regardless, now that she'd awoken, he sat by her side and checked the state of everything else. Because yeah, Amelia in the last part, or no, the 2 parts ago, she was going through it. We don't know what she was going through, but I don't even know if she completed the trial or if she, failed it. I don't know. We don't really know what happened with Amelia and what she was going through, so hopefully we'll learn more about that maybe in this part. So, the color of her face and her breathing were both normal. Her face was cute too. She returned to her normal self without any noticeable issues. I'm sorry, Subaru. I really lost it when I woke up in the tomb. That's fine. More importantly, I was worried you might have bumped something when you first fell down. It really is a lot easier on both of us if I can watch you without being separated. Yeah, it might well be. Subaru, replying in what he thought was his usual flippant tone, narrowed his brows at Amelia's reaction. She lowered her eyes, looking as if she was thinking about something else as she cuts Subaru's sleeve. Uh-oh. It was as if she were unconsciously grasping his hand to allay her worries. Subaru stared at the gesture when... Following Subaru's gaze, Amelia was startled when she realized her fingers were grasping the sleeve of his tracksuit. Oh. She didn't even realize it. She proceeded to release her fingers, her face reddening as she waved her hand to and fro. I didn't mean to. That's strange. Why did I do something like... My, Amelia Tan finally wants me enough to subconsciously reach out her hand. Hey, if you want to rely on me for everything, you can just come out and say it. That's totally not it. My hand probably just slipped. How does your hand just slip onto someone? Who knows, man. You sure denied that fast. And what do you mean by slipped? Amelia shook her head at the half-joking assertion, wearing a strained, embarrassed smile. Subaru did not press the issue. After all, she didn't seem to want to talk about the worries subconsciously connected to her actions just then. And naturally, those were related to the trial that night. Yes, of course. Man, not even past the first few pages. I'm already loving the interactions between the two. Can I ask you something about the trial? What kind of past did you see inside? Yes. Hopefully, we learn more about this. Hopefully, she doesn't not too evasive. Subaru, how do you know about? If it's tough to talk about, I won't ask about the details. I have a past I don't want to talk about too. That's not what I. How do you know about the trial? Showed me my past. As Amelia, how's Subaru gonna explain this one? Because obviously he should not have been able to take that trial, so this should be interesting. As Amelia's violet eyes opened wide, her words made Subaru let an out of his throat. Certainly, no one was supposed to know the details of the test within the tomb before entering, and even then, they would only find out if they were challengers themselves. Of course, Subaru could have just told Amelia that he'd undergone the trial just like she had, but looking back at Amelia's trembling eyes, Subaru swallowed the words with which to convey that fact. Given that she was already shaking and discouraged, he feared that telling Amelia he'd taken the same trial but had overcome it might push her farther into a corner. I guess that's true. Nor was this the only reason not to tell her. Accordingly, Subaru closed his eyes, pushing the role of the villain onto someone absent from that place. That jerk Roswell was keeping quiet that he knew all about the trial. He said something about facing your past, but I don't really know the details past that. Okay, he's getting out of it. I still hope we get to learn more about where her trial was, though. Is that so? Did Roswell say anything else? Maybe that it's 3 parts in all, and seeing the past is the first one? I mean, did Amelia even get that far to like realize there's 3 parts? Did Amelia talk with Echidna? I'm curious about that. Like, did she see the witch? A barefaced lie. Seaba's reply made Amelia look dispirited. 3 parts, she echoed. At least she didn't question Subaru's assertion that Roswell was the source of the information. In reality, he'd learned it from blank, Echidna, but he avoided such a problematic explanation. Setting the number of problems aside, today's challenge didn't go all that well, did it? So it seemed. I tried hard, but it suddenly ended midway. Sorry, I think that's because I woke you up. Seems like being touched from the outside wakes you up. Come to think of it, I feel like I got told that from the start. Who told you that? Who was it, I wonder? The creases of Seaber's brow deepened as he tried to wrap his head around it. The thought easily rolled off his tongue, but where had the idea come from? When he thought about it, nothing came to mind, so he put off forming a conclusion. Wait, what? What? Sorry, I think that's because I woke you up. Seems being touched from the outside wakes you up. I feel like I got told that from the start. From the start of what? Did I maybe miss something? I can't remember what. I don't really know what he's talking about here. That's annoying. It seems kind of important, so. I don't know if it's like the start of the trial or. Who knows? Who knows? Continue on. Let's switch topics. Tonight was no good, but that just means you can take it again. You can take it as many times as you need to, so the rest is up to how you feel, Amia, Tim. How I feel? I could tell from the look on your face as you slept that it wasn't a warm, fuzzy past. But if it's not you who liberates the sanctuary, there's no meaning to it. That's what I think anyway. For that, are you going to challenge it again? When pressed to choose, Amelia took in a deep breath and fell silent. Her trembling fingers went to her own neck, touching the green crystal that dangled from it. Oh, is the green crystal where Puck resides? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But her only family made no response. Yeah. Again, where the hell is Puck? Where are you, Puck? Come on, man. Amelia was hard-pressed for an answer as she watched her, silently awaiting her decision. If, for example, by any chance, Amelia recoiled from challenging the trial again, too afraid to face her past, Subaru did have an idea. It just took someone else qualified to do it himself. That would be Subaru Natsky, but... Subaru, you idiot. Hey, I'll accept any answer you... Wait, what's with the sudden insult? If you say that with gentle eyes and a gentle voice, there's no way I'll say I can't, is there? I'm not a very smart girl, but even I know that this is my duty. There you go, Amelia. Amelia, don't pamper me. Trust me. Maybe I don't sound very convincing saying that after today, but... I mean, yeah, just because you failed the first time doesn't mean just can't keep trying. I mean, come on now. Right after speaking with such strong resolve, Amelia flushed as she lowered her eyes. However, her words made Subaru exhale at length. That's not true at all, he said, shaking his head. Amelia had said she'd do it, then she certainly would. From all the time he'd seen her, not just that night, Subaru genuinely trusted her. Unlike Roswell. Hey, I'm with you for makeup test or anything else. I trust you. I'll wait. Thank you. When Subaru smiled at her, Amelia finally regained the strength to send a charming smile back at him. It was a small, fleeting smile, but the resolve it contained made Subaru lose himself in the sight of it, just for a moment. Alright, there you go, Subaru. She, gave her that confidence to take the trial again. That kind of reconfirmation. It's really cool to see Subaru, kind of bring her back up. It's nice to see how much they trust each other, like how much their relationship has evolved over the past few months. I think he's been in this world for like 3 months or so, right? So, but the only thing that pains my heart is the trouble must be for the people of Earlham village. She promised them she would definitely liberate them from their barrier and return them to the village. She hoped that they were not people to shun someone upon learning of their failure, but she couldn't help its weighing on her mind. But Sue had an idea where that was concerned. Can you let me handle that part? You have something in mind? I do. I don't plan on causing Amelia Tanner or the village any trouble. Understood. I trust you, Sibu. See, they both trust each other. Obviously. When Sibu thumped his hand on his chest, Amelia narrowed her eyes and immediately nodded. Sibu was a little surprised at the instant decision, whereupon Amelia gave a tiny, pleasant smile. As if I doubt you now, Sibu. I trust you. Those words left Sibu quietly closing eyes, thinking hard in his own mind. Amelia's trust was a product of Sibu's actions to date, and even if those had proceeded according to the sketch drawn by Roswell's own hand, it would not be that way from here on. Yeah, Sibu's come a long way with this relationship with her, because having someone like Amelia say, like, I trust you, since she's a spirits arts, user, I feel like that's a pretty big deal. No way I'm going to let everyone dance on top of your palm. He would not permit Roswell's will to intervene as it had so far, and there in the sanctuary, it was Sibu Natsu's job to prove it. Man, what the hell is with Roswell? What could his scheme be this time? Is he still plotting things? I mean, he must be. We don't know anything about Roswell, man. I don't know. 3 days later, Sibu executed the plan he had mentioned to Amelia. So Sibu's plan is to what? Now we'll see. I must say, I am impressed he managed to persuade Garfield. Otto shared his thoughts while Sibu checked the condition of the dragon carriage with Patlash, his favorite lane dragon, hitched to it. Sibu's back was turned as he responded with a yeah, before continuing. It took a little time, but it's a big help that I somehow got through to him. Though from my perspective, it was difficult to believe he would listen to what we had to say. It might be a merchant, but you're not a good judge of people, are you? I suppose not. Having associated with all kinds of company to date, and never earning even the slightest bit of profit without a great deal of toil, it's enough that even I doubt my own eyes. Poor Otto. This man probably suffers more than Sibu. Otto responded to Sibu's barb with a shrill, resentful comment of his own, but Sibu understood why he felt that way. To begin with, the point of taking Otto to the sanctuary was that, he wanted to reward Otto for all the things, he did with the witch coal attack. With, transporting the villagers and such. To begin with, the point of taking Otto to the sanctuary was that Sibu could fulfill his promise of granting him an audience with Roswell. And yet, to think I would go 4 whole days without meeting him once, only to return to the village where we started. I'm sorry about that, but you won't be able to talk to Roswell until the heat dies down. Oh, so they're at the village. Duh, I don't know why. Don't know how that crossed my mind, but yes, they're at Earlham village. If you want me to introduce you with a ton of sparks flying in the air, I can force the issue, but no, please, there's no need. I do not want to become involved in a strange situation like that. Oh, man. Otto's recoiling like that had been partly responsible for the delay in introducing him him and Roswell. Scratching his cheek, Subaru focused on what lay ahead of their dragon carriage. The other carriages for evacuating the villagers assembled at the entrance of the sanctuary. There were a total of 50 villagers and cooperating traveling merchants in 7 dragon carriages, all moving in one rather large convoy. Subaru and Otto had arranged to bring them along on their return to Earlham village. The condition that was required for it to happen, that the barrier enveloping the sanctuary to be lifted, remained unmet, but Lady Mia ain't got a choice. From the moment she stepped inside the barrier, she either lifts it or she ain't leaving. They ain't got no value as hostages no more, so go ahead and return them to the village. Garfield. As Subaru watched the villagers prepare to embark, a figure with blonde hair and bad attitude approached. The man who always had a dangerous look in his eyes glanced over, glaring at Subaru and Otto as they stood side by side. So if Garfield is along with him at Earlham Village, then maybe we'll be able to see Garfield and Frederica interact, since they're siblings. I don't know. Frederica said to be very wary, careful about Garfield. We really don't know why. I mean, obviously he's supposedly the strongest man in this world, so maybe we'll find out a little more information about their relationship in a bit. Wow. The gaze made Otto let out a small cry as he meekly retreated to the other side of the dragon carriage. Even considering the impact from the first meeting, it was quite an attitude. I don't guess Garfield's freaking picking on Otto again. I'm telling you, Otto has it worse than Subaru, man. Otto should be the MC in this series. I don't know what I'm saying. Don't boss him around too much. He's a super important... Wait, why is he important again? If you're wondering out loud, how the hell am I supposed to know? Besides, him acting like a chicken is a problem. Garfield crinkled his nose as he sourly folded his arms. But though his actions were frequently crude, Garfield was a man unexpectedly attentive to details. Sue had learned that thanks to having come into contact with him repeatedly over the last few days. Who'd have thought you were taking care of the villagers who'd evacuated? What's that? Can't be helped, damn it. Not like I can have the old hags pushing themselves too hard. And a lot of them don't want to get friendly with strangers either. The less trouble, the better. Meaning my suggestion put us in the same boat? Pretty much. It's the Maringo Island way and stuff. No idea what you're talking about, Garfield. No idea. Subaru was tempted to ponder how he was managing to hold such a normal conversation with Garfield. Yeah, it's like the first normal conversation he's had. But Subaru ignored that and lightly bowed his head to Garfield once more. After all, without Garfield's cooperation, the freeing of hostages wouldn't have been impossible. Cut that out, it's embarrassing. I told you not to bow your head and stuff. Even if you say that I have to do this much, I know you guys have your own circumstances, and you accepted this because it suits your own interests too, but welcoming strangers into the sanctuary meant exhausting some resources. The settlement did have its own fields, and Roswell had arranged for the regular delivery of supplies, but a prolonged emergency situation wasn't good for either population. That's why Subaru had brought the matter up with Garfield, who had in turn spoken with Ryuzu and other residents, resulting in that morning's freeing of the hostages. That's why I'm grateful. The villagers, their feelings are a little mixed, but they're happy, too. Besides, really stuck it to Roswell. Wait, so are they talking about the villagers from Earlham that were in the sanctuary? Were they hostages? Was that how it was? And Subaru's plan was to bring the villagers that were in the sanctuary back to their original home. So is that what's happening right now? That's why I'm grateful. The villagers, their feelings are a little mixed, but they're happy too. Besides, we always stuck at the Roswell. Yeah, that makes me feel good too. I'll accept your thanks then. When Subaru gave a mischievous grin, Garfield revealed his fangs and let out a hearty laugh. Not only had the proposal been Subaru's idea, but Roswell had approved when he had been informed after the fact. From what Subaru had picked up through Ram, that had to have given Roswell plenty of heartburn. Ever since the nighttime discussion a few nights earlier, Subaru had stubbornly resisted meeting Roswell again. At the very least, he didn't intend to forgive Roswell until the latter made a proper apology. That was unfortunate for Otto, but of course it is. As always, Otto gets the short end of the stick. Subaru. Just when there was a tiny break in the conversation, a voice clear as bell called out Subaru's name. When Subaru looked back, Amelia was waving as she walked towards. Oh, Amelia's back there too. Yeah, I mean, interesting. Okay, makes sense. We'll talk again later when we're on the road. Noticing her approach, Garfield whispered only that into Subaru's ear before moving off from his side. He walked off with an exaggerated swagger as Amelia arrived, cocking her head to the side as she posed the question. Did I butt into a conversation with Garfield? Oh, that's alright. It's not like it was anything important, and Amelia's hand's my top priority. I'm really happy to hear that, but right now the villagers should be your top priority. When the corners of Amelia's eyebrows lowered as she gave a conflicted smile, Subaru nodded in reply to her request. Then she turned her mind's attention toward the villagers' dragon carriages, where preparations to return were underway. Subaru had a strong grasp on the complex feelings Amelia harbored inside. I really do think lifting the barrier and heading out like a big parade would be great, but I'm sorry, it's because I haven't overcome the trial even after several days. But I don't think it's right they shouldn't be reunited with their families because of me. Her voice full of feelings of self-reproach, Amelia bit her thin lips in apparent regret over her own powerlessness. In the 3 days since they'd first challenged the trial, the team's methodology had become clearer bit by bit. Just as Subaru had remembered, it was possible to undertake it any number of times. However, it could only be undertaken once per night. Amelia had made an attempt every night without rest, only to meet with failure each time. Wow, so she's attempted it 3 times then? Just about 3 times? When night fell, Subaru watched Amelia front her past at the tomb, and he saw a pain break her heart, causing her to turn tearful and haggard. Repeated painful experiences had resulted in a rising pile of failures. Moreover, he couldn't even begin to imagine how much her spirit had been worn down in the process. Anyway, you can't get impatient and force yourself. Since ancient times, no one has managed to accomplish anything good with those 2 things. I'll get the villagers back home and come back here right away. Oh, okay. So Subaru, I thought they were at the Earlham village already, but no, they're still at the sanctuary and they're preparing to leave to go to the village. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Cause I'm like, wait, why is Amelia back? They just let Amelia leave and not take the trial. I mean, come on. Anyways, I'll get the villagers back home and come back here right away, but it won't be till tomorrow that I can make it. You can put off tonight's challenge if you want, you know. Subaru couldn't remain in the sanctuary to be at Amelia's side that night. Because of that, Subaru had proposed several times already that she take a break from challenging the tomb, but Amelia firmly shook her head this time as well. It's alright, it's true I'm a little impatient, but I'm the one who said I'll do this. I don't want to disappoint the villagers or the people of the sanctuary. I mean, that's her top priority. She wants to prove that she's worthy for these villagers, that she means well. She doesn't mean any harm. It's another step in kind of like, you know, making the villagers realize she's only there to help. Gotcha. All right then. I won't say any more. Thank you. Also, though you should be mindful of the villagers, be mindful to Frederica. Now that they check off what each had to do, Amelia worried added that at the end. Worriedly added that to the end. Blech. Her worry was rooted in the lack of knowledge about where Frederica stood. If Ram's warning was anything to go by, Frederica was involved with those opposed to the liberation of the sanctuary. Exactly. Subaru hadn't the faintest idea of how to treat him and Otto upon their return to the mansion. If Frederica bears Lady Amelia ill will, the mansion should be an empty shell right about now. Huh? Ram? What do you come here for? Ram, slipping through the line of driving carriages, came over and promptly joined the conversation. Much like with Roswell, Subaru wasn't feeling particularly positive about her, concerning the issue of Ram and her behavior. Namely her taking Roswell's side. Subaru was standoffish with her. Ram feigned ignorance of the discord of Subaru, narrowing her almond-shaped eyes as she spoke. Greetings, Borisu. I have merely come out of my way to see you off in Master Roswell's stead. As a lord, it pains him greatly not to be present as his people begin to depart. You've got some nerve to be. In addition, he sends a message to Borisu for his return to the mansion. If Frederica concerns you, I believe it is all the more important you should hear it. When Subaru clicked his tongue at the preamble, Rem dangled the existence of information he could not afford to dismiss in front of his nose. Truth be told, it was very difficult for Subaru to endure going along with it, but what should I do then, if Frederica is a concern? Lady Amelia is so forthright. You should learn from her, Borisu. Ram employed Amelia to sarcastically pester Subaru, clapping her hands with excessive glee. Then, as they caught their breath, Ram continued in a quiet tone of voice. He said that if you're concerned about confronting Frederica, rely upon Lady Beatrice. Rely on Beatrice? Hey, listen closer when people explain stuff. That's a majorly high difficulty thing in itself. In this situation, just meeting her isn't as simple as it is. It is you who should listen, Borisu. Please be quiet until I am finished. Certainly, it is not easy to speak to Lady Beatrice. That is where Master Roswell's message should come into play. Because, Roswell and Beatrice are I'm pretty sure they're pretty, tight, I guess you could say. They've known each other for a long time, and I think they have a lot of deep trust in each other. Or at least they know a lot about each other, their motives and such. So I guess it makes sense that Lady Beatrice would know something about Frederica. The grave accents of her voice made Subaru swallow his words and indicate for her to continue. His gaze made Ram lick her lips before she spoke. He instructed, upon returning to the mansion, to say this. Roswell said ask your questions. Questions? Ram does not know the details. However, Master Roswell stated that once this reaches Lady Beatrice's ears, the situation shall change. I came only to deliver this message to you. Roswell said ask your questions. Ask her questions? What kind of questions would Beatrice have? Questions to Subaru? Or is this questions to Frederica? I have no idea. Ask your questions. That's interesting. What could that mean? Well, we'll find out. Hopefully we'll find out in this book by the end. Master Roswell stated that once this reaches Beatrice's ears, the situation shall change. Ray made that declaration with a composed look, showing that she was not of a mind to entertain any questions about the matter. Subaru mulled over her demeanor and the words she had spoken. In the end, he grimaced because he didn't understand their meaning. Yeah, neither do I. So if I tell Beatrice that, she'll listen to what I have to say. Is that it? Who knows? That surely depends on you, Borisu. See the villagers home safely, please. Placing a very strong emphasis on that last part, Ram turned her back to him and left. Her business concluded. Taken aback by her attitude, Subaru scratched his head. No, Roswell's probably hiding something, damn it. As always is hiding something. Amelia? Yes, nothing, no worries. In the blink of an eye, Amelia's gloomy expression vanished as she straightened her back and turned to face Subaru. Then she smiled pleasantly at Subaru once more before she continued. I don't know how far we should trust the advice from Roswell that Ram gave us, but don't be reckless. May the blessing of the spirits be with you. To a spirit mage, this was an important phrase, special words to send others off. Subaru answered with a solemn nod, though that might not sound very convincing coming from me right at this moment. That's not true. I'll be back. You hang in there too, Amelia. Instead of telling her not to be impatient or reckless, he tried to say something else. Rather than reinforce her worries, he tried to convey his trust to bolster her spirit, even if it only helped a little bit. You too, Subaru. Amelia nodded, and it was right around then that the preparations to depart were complete. Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Oh, that's it. Yep, that's where my stopping point was. So yeah, that was a good little read. I guess the plot is going to be moving towards, having Subaru go back to the village. And I guess the big thing is asking Beatrice that question. You can ask your questions now, or I think that's what it was, something like that. Now, what could that mean? Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? It's all a mystery. I mean, we really don't even know that much about Beatrice either, other than, she's just there to protect the library, the forbidden books, the forbidden library, And of course, Subaru will leave Amelia and the others, well, mainly Amelia, just to, take the trial for however many times it will take. I think this will be, if she does it tonight, when Subaru's leaving, it'll be like her fourth try, I believe. So we did not learn about what happened in her past. I was kind of hoping we would, but it kind of makes sense, for Subaru not to pester her to reveal that information just yet when she's not ready. So I'm not annoyed by that at all. We'll definitely find out at some point, I hope. Of course, I have no idea what the hell is going on with Frederica, what her motives is. Obviously, I think we heard that, she was working with the villagers at the sanctuary to kind of stop the liberation of the sanctuary for whatever reason. I'm not sure. Again, it's just mystery all around. Who the hell knows? That's why I love this series. And of course, our questions will be answered soon enough. And of course, I loved all the interactions between the characters. Otto, as always, getting the short end of the stick, getting pushed around as always, and Subaru and Amelia's interactions. You can tell that they definitely have a lot more mutual trust in each other, and you can see their relationship is really just going up from here, and hopefully it doesn't stop. Because just hearing Amelia say, "Yeah, I trust you, Subaru. I trust you," just those few words probably mean the world to Subaru. So that was really cool to see. So yeah, as always, I enjoyed that read. As always, I always do. And the next part, I might just do a super long video and finish the rest of the chapter book, or it depends on how I'm feeling. Maybe I'll do one part and then one part after that. So it's like two more parts, but we'll see. I'll probably just do one long part to finish things off here. And because the anime is coming out, season 2 is coming out Wednesday, pretty sure, yeah, July 8th. And I might do a reaction to the anime. So if anyone's interested in that, please let me know. If you even make it this far, I wonder how many episodes it would take to even cover Volume 10. I'm thinking maybe around 7 at most, but I'm not entirely sure. But who knows? I heard the first episode, it will be an hour long, just like season 1 was of the first episode. But that depends if it's just a recap of the previous things that happened in season 1, or if it's actually just 1 hour of brand new content going to season 2. And if that's the case, then maybe, who knows, maybe like 5 episodes to get to finish volume 10. And then from there, as I'll be watching the anime, I will not know what the hell will be going on. So it'll be fun. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. So that'll be the end of this video today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll have the next part out. I'll be recording the next part tomorrow night. So it'll probably be out tomorrow or the next day after that. And hopefully we'll be finishing the book. But until then, have a great rest of your day or night. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.